Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Up and In Show. It's a beautiful Thursday. We are here in Cards and Culture on the purple couch with my guy, David Folse. Appreciate you, my man.
What's up, dude?
With the fucking MVP purple. I love this shirt. It's amazing. And
It's called Relax Thursday. Come to Baton Rouge, have some fun.
I love it. It's like you kind of blend in with the couch, too. It's like, looks like there's just some white paint strokes on the couch. That's good.
Literally not the plan, but it worked.
And an orange hat. That thing is sick. What team again?
The Churros. It's an 8 1/4, so it fits my massive noggin. So it's like, short of it saying Alabama on it, I'd have worn it.
I love it. 8 1/4.
8 1/4.
That is a noggin. I think that would be a record in the MLB, right?
No, and Bruce Bochy.
Bruce Bochy?
Tied.
He does have a big old noggin.
Yep.
We've talked about that too. I remember that. He's just got a big old melon. Anyway, we're excited. LSU baseball is kicking off tomorrow. The box postseason. Oh man, it's the best time of year. Are you gonna be in town for any of the games?
Not for Super, just because of for regular regional, just because way work schedule works. But I will be here, hopefully, knock on wood, for Super regionals.
There we go. So you're just in here for this podcast today.
Just here for this podcast. Day off.
What a
it's
legend.
gonna be fun.
Let's
Dude,
go.
It's the best job in the world.
That's awesome.
I don't know about you, but this team, for a top 5 national seed, this team terrifies the shit out of me.
I love it. Me too.
So hopefully we get the chance to break down and talk about it. But this team scares the crap out of me.
All right, I love it. Let's talk about this, because I went on, and Chris McGee, Chris McGee, right?
Was it McGee or McGee?
Just McGee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from on that, the extra H in there. But a couple weeks ago, right before the SEC tournament, him and I were sitting down talking, and I was like, dude, I'm a little nervous about a regional. He talked me off the ledge for a regional, but then I kind of explained my stuff about a super and all that. But man, I'm just nervous in general. There's there seems to be a little, not as much fluidity at the end of the year that you'd like,
Well, you can make the argument, did this team peak too quick?
Yeah.
And the answer really is no. It's where's the pitching going to come from? My gut still tells me this team is going to score 5 to 6 runs a game. Yeah. You're not going to score double-digit runs a game. That's gone. You're not playing the Tennessee Techs of the Little Scissors of the Poor anymore. Right. So everybody who's here, including Tulane, deserves to be here. Yeah. They deserve to be here. But this team can still score 5 to 6 runs a game. The only question is, what the hell are you going to do to stop them?
Yeah.
You have to get that. If you're going to score 5 to 6 runs a game, you have to give up less than that.
Exactly.
Baseball 101.
Yep.
And I just don't know.
I know.
Because are you going to get the Thatcher Hurd that comes out and throws 5 1/3 in the SEC tournament? Or are you going to get the Thatcher Hurd that can't find the strike zone and has to be pulled?
Yeah.
Are you going to get do you trust Christian Little? How healthy really is Javen Coleman? Is he your third starter? What are you going to do tomorrow? Yeah. Jay is tight to the vest here.
He hasn't said anything.
Has not announced anything as of 11:05 on a Thursday when this podcast is being filmed. But what are you going to do? You're going to pitch down. The question is, how far are you going to pitch down? Are you going to, because you have to think about Sunday. Skeens is set for Saturday. Unless something is completely bonkers we don't know about, Skeens will throw Saturday if you win against Tulane. Yeah. And regardless, you have to throw Skeens even if you lose to Tulane.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what are you got to think 2 games ahead. What are you going to do? Are you going to pitch Coleman or Hurd on tomorrow and with the hopes of throwing Ty Floyd in the championship game? What are you going to do there?
I think Hurd has kind of gotten over that hump of a starter, I think, right now. I think he's got some confidence. I think that last SEC start in the tournament was huge for him going into the postseason. So I think you go Hurd game 1 and ride him as long as you can, and try not to use any bullpen pieces as long as you can. Hopefully we get a big lead and we can put somebody in that can just keep us ahead, right? That's the ideal scenario for me, I think. And then I think you try to keep Javen as long as you can in case we lose a game and we have to play a second one Sunday.
The if necessary Monday game or something like that.
I think you try to hold Javen as long as you can, and then if we need that Monday game, you start with Coleman, so you have a little bit of confidence of somebody that started and can go 3 innings, 5 innings, something like that, and then it's by committee after that. But I think you go Hurd and try to do as much as you can with him. Skeens is obviously game 2, and start Floyd in the championship game if you win your first 2.
We were talking about what your former coach Paul Maneri was talking about with Southern and stuff, and where it's you have to adjust on the fly. If it's 2-0 in the 7th inning against Tulane, you have to go to like a Gavin Guidry or something like that.
You have to.
If it's close, you have to win the game.
Yeah, I think Paul Bertocini pitched in that game, and we didn't use Mattiot, I don't think, but because we wound up scoring late in the game. And
Sneaky, my favorite player of all time at LSU.
Who?
On my just because it was. Remember when he had that whole when he would kick the foot up and it would go up, and then he had that
it was kind of
freaky curveball, and it was just like it was a closer.
Yep.
He was quiet, but he was like. Now he's selling air conditioners. It's just like it's awesome.
He is the same Mattiot as he was when he was our closer. Just like I don't know how to describe it, but the way that he approaches the air conditioning business and everything, he's like the best. Like I don't know, just the way he would come in and close games. He was business. It was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing my work. I'm this guy. This is what you're gonna get. Like he's the same way in the air conditioning business. It's incredible.
Like I would love to say I bought my air conditioner from Mattiot. You know how cool that would be.
He will definitely close the deal. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That was cheesy.
But we were talking about.
Javen Coleman.
Yeah. So Skeens throws Saturday.
Yeah.
Floyd would throw Sunday, assuming you win and all that kind of stuff. And then I don't know, man.
I'm going to let you know this is what made me nervous. I was on Jared and Mikey's mic'd up podcast when they were playing the elimination game. Who'd they lose to? To get kicked out of the SEC tournament.
To Nolan and
the
A&M,
right? The game that Tommy didn't play. We're sitting there and speculating and joking like, Jay wants to go home. He wants to just fresh start, get ready for the regionals to the point we were joking. And then we're sitting there and we're like, something's not right. Like your best player, the guy that's leading the country in RBIs doesn't sit out in an elimination game. Right. So to me, either there's some camaraderie with it. Maybe there's too much Tommy, cause he's a big personality, right? All these things, there's a lot of speculation. And that's where we were just like scratching our heads of like, we won a national championship. We were the baddest team in the country, and we wanted to win every game. There was no way Jared Mitchell was sitting out of an elimination game. There was no way that I wasn't pitching a champion. You know what I'm saying? If I was available.
Right. I think it's just getting everything in order. And if you've got a tweak on something in terms of an injury or something like that, if you need, who cares? 2 weeks from now, no one's gonna even remember how to spell Hoover.
Right.
That's next 2 weeks is all that matters.
That's more their mindset. You think? I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit though, as an LSU fan.
It's just
that's everybody's preference because Jared and I had a podcast and he was like, I don't mind it. And it's again, everybody is different.
Get everything set. Get everything right.
For me, I'm like best team win the tournament. I'm like, if you're the best team, if you're supposed to be this team, like go win. But
if you're gonna reset it and Skeens has to throw and then your pitching is offset and this pitchers are creatures of habit. You mess up their habit, they'll freak out.
No, I get it. I see that perspective. I do.
So
but anyway, I like
Hurd. I'm with you. You've kind of that's where I'm leaning there that he's gonna go Hurd, but the question is who's after Hurd, and it all depends on what happens in the game itself.
Correct.
Are you gonna go Hurd Coleman? You're going to go Hurd Guidry? What's going to happen there in terms of, I think it all depends on what's going on in the game itself. If it's a 10-0 game
energy,
or if it's 2-0, you're going to Guidry. You're going to Riley Cooper. You're going to whatever.
Exactly.
Because you have to win the first two.
And they're hot too, right? So even if it's like 4-1 or something like that, or 3-1, and there's like that buzz in the stadium, like, we haven't put him away yet. I would like to see them go to a more sure Guidry or, you know what I'm saying, somebody that's a little bit more reliable than a Christian Little or something along those lines.
Ideal situation here is you 10-run roll them.
Right.
I mean, and then you only
go.
And
we drop a 6 spot in the first inning.
And Hurd throws
good.
7 innings.
Exactly. That would be ideal.
Say what you will. Tulane's 19-40, I think.
Yeah.
But guess what? They did what they had to do to come in.
I literally, we were talking about betting before the show and everything. I'm not the one number 1 seed that I'm not betting on is LSU. There's a lot of question marks right now for me. Tulane is super hot. Anybody that wins their conference tournament and goes into the tournament, I'm always like a little like skeptical of. So
here's some other things about LSU, and we've talked a lot about pitching and all the concerns there. The Trey Morgan is in left. Trey Morgan's DH, and Trey Morgan's selling pizzas today, but he's batting left. It's got to stop.
Yeah,
you have to put him at first because a one play could be the difference in the damn game. Now you put him at first. I don't care if this means Paxton Kling's in right field and then Joe Bear's in left. Figure it out.
Yeah,
you've got Cruz in center. Trey Morgan has to be at first.
I'm with you.
And if this means Jared Jones is coming off the bench for 1 at bat, so be it. But figure it out. It's got to stop in terms of first base. Trey Morgan is your first baseman. Gavin Dugas is your second baseman. And when you have to make your defensive switch, you go to Napolt. Thompson's in at third. Tommy White's at Thompson's in at short, excuse me.
Yep.
Tommy White's at third. I don't count. You maybe count on a Brady Neal pinch hit, or if needed, it's Travinsky and it's Milazzo.
Yep.
You pick one. Travinsky's probably going to end up being your DH because you're going to take the same approach with Trey Morgan. So that means Jobert Kling in left and right, Jobert Pearson. Do you want two left-handed sticks there? And that leaves Cabeloso out in the cold. So I don't know. But this whole Trey Morgan has to be your first baseman.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no more. The rest of the season was beating around to this. It's game time now.
I agree. That's your best lineup.
He has to be your first baseman.
I agree.
Because, and it's nothing against everybody else who plays at first.
It's
one
just he's
play,
that good.
one scoop
Yeah.
could be the difference in your season ending or you go into a super regional.
Yeah, and there's just so many little plays at first base that having that skill set is that much more valuable. We've seen big plays happen and things like that this year, and it just can't happen. Not at this point. There's too much to lose. You're right.
And there's so much with it. Travinsky's one of your hottest sticks right now, and he's more importantly one of your most power hitting sticks. But you have to think 4 steps ahead here. I know Jay's playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers. But if Travinsky is going to DH and you want Milazzo in for that same approach, then what are you going to do in left and right?
Yeah.
Are you going to want that second left-handed bat in the lineup, or are you going to go because then Pearson or Jobert has to come out?
Right.
And then what are you doing? Is it Klingen right? What are you doing there? So this is why
I like Klingen
we
the
get
order.
paid to just
speculate,
and Jay gets paid to come
actually
up
do
with
it, and try to win games on the field. Yeah, I like Kling out there though. I like the athleticism. I like him in the lineup. I know hasn't produced to the point that we wanted to, but I think we know the baseball IQ that's there, the high prospect.
But Pearson has been hot right now, and Jobert always has the ability to run one out the park.
The clutch homers too. I know it is, but that's where we speculate. We see them, 4 times a week. Jay sees them every day, day in, day out. He knows their personalities, their coaches do. I think the leadership of their coaching staff will, take over that kind of stuff. And I think they'll put the best product out there, but I'm anxious to see what it looks like.
And here's the other thing that we're not talking about. It's the first time, I believe, in 4 years that there's been a regional at that place. And I'm talking about the box.
It's been
Think
4
about
years.
it. The COVID year was nothing.
So 2020, 2021.
They went to USM.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's been
No, that was
3-4 years. At least
that was a super regional at USM, right?
No, that was a sub regional because remember USM lost to Ole Miss in the super, and then Ole Miss went to win the whole thing.
That's right. Okay.
So it's been 4 years since there's been a regional. 3 or 4 years since there's been a regional at that place.
Wow,
it's different. You know it's different.
Yeah.
You've been in that. It's completely different, and it's home field advantage. You're sleeping in your own bed. Yeah. You're not like the Kentucky regional, which is wild, by the way. You saw all those kids.
No,
there's some massive country festival thing, and there's no hotels in the Lexington area. This is the regional that LSU's matched up with.
Right.
And so they're staying in the Kentucky dorms.
Who is
the other teams?
Oh my God, they have to stay in dorm rooms,
and they're charging them $92.50 a night.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Who's in that regional? Who's that? Is it? It's Ball State. That's who Kentucky.
West
plays,
Virginia
right?
is the two,
and then
I'm missing.
Not Indiana State. No, they got
Indiana State's a strong two. West Virginia's the two there.
Right.
I'm missing out on the last one.
Yeah, I forget.
But yeah, that's who LSU is matched up with. So, and if LSU were to win, that's super regional, of course, would come here. It'd be an SEC rematch if all the seats hold with Kentucky.
Right.
But
I don't know if they win their regional though. I could see them losing.
West Virginia's really good.
Yeah, they're solid. Yeah.
Shared Pac-12 championships.
Yeah.
So West Virginia is really good. This team's. You want to think with your brain or you want to think with your heart?
I know.
This team scares me to death.
Right, I want them to win.
Because this team could come out and we could be talking this time next week and go, my God, they scored 15 runs a game.
Right, it was a breeze.
It was a breeze, and they're going to Omaha, and why are we even playing it?
Right.
Let's all go to Barrett's and get wasted.
Right.
Or the season could end.
Yeah. And we're like, damn, we told you we were kind of nervous about this. We saw this coming. And then it's like the dominoes all come out, right? Hey, this was actually happening. This was happening. This was behind closed doors. Good teams keep that shit in-house. And that's where it's like, I think, we don't know what's always going on behind, the scenes and things with teams, but it'll be interesting.
You're going to have to hit the ball, and you're going to have to hit the ball in clutch situations because LSU left a lot of runners on base in Hoover.
That was crazy. And this is what scares me. We've talked about this in here. Is in the beginning of the year, we got bailed out a lot on 3-run homers, and we talk about the
Earl Weaver,
Yep.
Skip Bertman, Palmineri approach.
Exactly, the big
Walk,
3-run homer,
single, 3-run homer.
Exactly. You can't rely on that in the postseason. You just can't. I know it's worked in the past with gorilla ball and smaller ballparks and stuff like that, but you just can't rely on that. And there's too many good pitchers. We hadn't faced some of the good pitchers in the country yet that we're gonna face. So that's where I'm like, I'm nervous.
I know it feels like we're shitting on them.
I know we are. I feel like that, right?
And last time, but this team can't bunt.
No, they're definitely not a bunting team.
Yeah, no,
and
when they try, it's just like no.
Yeah, so that's it'll be interesting to see if they're a good team and they can do those little things in the clutch, and everything.
I think they will be fine.
I do too.
I think they will be fine in this sub-regional.
Yep.
And they should get out of it. Oregon State just announced that their number 2 pitcher is out for the rest of the season. Oregon State this is not the Oregon State that we all grew up on. This is not the Oregon State that you beat, and this is not the Oregon State. I just aged you by 10 years. So.
Yeah, I was like, that was 2015, 17, 18. I don't know, when they were like 52 and 6 or whatever.
This is not the Oregon State team that LSU went up there and beat twice.
Right.
This is not Luke Heimlich is not coming through the door. Thank God. Just.
Yeah, no, I think we take care of business this weekend. I think the pitching comes to play. And this is honestly, like, when the lights come on the biggest stage, this is when guys step up, right? Maybe we haven't seen 95 from Coleman yet because he wasn't in a regional. Maybe he's been waiting for these.
Team. Yeah. It's a veteran team that should, if it plays up to its potential, it'll be fine.
That's what
you have to field the ball so much better. And that's why I keep going back to the Trey Morgan thing.
Yeah.
You have to have Trey Morgan at first base.
Yeah.
If we wake up, by this time tomorrow, we're going to have a lineup. And we wake up and we see Trey Morgan in left field or something.
No.
What the hell?
No, that ain't
so,
it. Yeah.
Figure it out. This is why you have the LSU on your chest. This is why you got to wear that uniform that's on the other side there.
Yep.
This team will be fine. I'm interested to see. I agree with you. I think it's Hurd. And then it's Hurd, Skeens, Floyd. I think that's the ideal situation there.
That's what I think too.
And then you figure it out with if you have to go to an if necessary game because your whole season's online, they'll bring you in.
whatever they need. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think they sweep the regional?
They
win
do.
All 3, or they have to go
I do, because if you look at the RPIs, you're a big numbers guy. You're a big analytics guy. If you add up all the RPIs of all the teams in here, now Tulane offsets this tremendously because they were so bad.
Right.
But you add up all the RPI numbers, it's the weakest sub-region.
Is it?
Yes.
All right. I like that.
So it's the weakest 2 seed. Obviously, it's the weakest 4 seed.
Right.
Except for George Mason, who was finished second in the Colonial. But the Colonial is like
weak. And then they won their tournament.
And won their tournament. So
yeah.
it was going to be a one bid league anyway.
That sucks for that league. That sucks.
So
yeah, always crazy.
All right, so we talked about the Tigers. Let's talk about some other stuff.
What you got? What you got for us,
dude? Freaking Bama. We haven't got to talk since this all went down.
I'm pissed because I liked betting on Alabama and they took it off the DraftKings Sportsbook. You can't bet on Alabama anymore. So
you literally have to worry if the fix is in.
What?
No, literally, like you have to worry about that.
You're right, actually. Never mind. You're right. I'm glad they took it off, actually.
But
you know what's funny though? In a weird way, in the beginning part of the year, I was making like FU money on the preseason game. Remember, I was parlaying certain things. There was a night that Alabama was playing like a random team, and I'm like, why are they only minus 180? Why are they only minus 180? They should be minus 350, at least. And I'm like, there's something up. And then sure enough, they lost 5-1 or something like that. And I'm like, these fucking sports books, like, how do they know this shit, right? So I don't know. Maybe that guy was like fucking. I don't know.
I've been wanting to ask you this question forever. This is the part I can't get over. You were at LSU from 2008,
9, and 10.
8, 9, and 10. Yeah. If sports gambling was legal, just say for the sake of this conversation, and you find out Palmineri was betting on you to lose, what the hell do you do as a team?
I don't know. I don't do that.
Because in reality, nuts. That's what Bohannon was doing.
Is that really like confirmed what was happening?
So he gave for the Friday LSU game, he gave information to the dad of this is from Ross Dellinger's reporting. This is not speculating. This is not internet rumors. This is reading a report by arguably the best college sports reporter on the planet. He gave the information to the dad of the Cincinnati baseball player. He goes to Miller Park, or not to Miller Park, excuse me, where the Reds play, and lays a bet and says, I'm not pitching my ace today because he's resting. So you're betting on, so basically he's telling you, I'm betting on my team to lose today.
Right. So he was just relaying information that no one else had, basically.
Correct.
And was
because if you
encouraging someone to go place a bet.
Because you
on
remember
that.
at that game.
Oh,
2 hours
yeah,
after
I remember. Yeah.
2 hours before first pitch, they made the pitching move where they benched him.
Yeah, I remember. I was betting on Skeens every Friday night. So
Me too. Shit ton of money on ball Skeens every Friday night.
Exactly. Wow. So who's this guy in Cincinnati? He was just a random guy?
He turns out he's the dad of one of the Cincinnati baseball players.
Like Cincinnati Reds?
No, like
University of Cincinnati. Okay, so
it would make it so much better.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck?
And then 2 staffers at Cincinnati get fired.
What the fuck? There's so much more in this.
Yeah, I remember.
There's so much more in
there has
this.
to be. And
There's so many layers to this. That's crazy. But I'm really interested because DraftKings is one of the only sports books that provides college baseball betting too.
Where have all the runs gone for DraftKings? You hear me?
I'm so mad about that. Yeah.
Last year we had over-unders on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
where have all that gone? All it is just plus 220.
That's it. It's a joke.
Minus, and I'm like,
all you can do is try to parlay to try to get to even odds or whatever.
Right, and you yell at me for just picking LSU.
Yeah.
Oh, parlay it, get the number down.
Yeah. Because you bet $10 to win $1.
I don't have crazy Renato money.
I'm not betting crazy Renato money. I'm just betting enough to make money though. That's the thing too. Like if I'm gonna risk my money, I'm like, if I'm gonna risk it, I'm at least gonna get even money back. You know what I'm saying? That's to me is at least my philosophy of throwing money.
We're gonna see what. We're gonna see what.
That would have been the most viral thing ever. If that slipped and you fell backwards.
Here's my. We're gonna pull this up. Internet in here sucks.
It does. You need to get on the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Because I'll show you my bets for tomorrow.
I parlayed every single national 1 seed.
Okay. All on one ticket.
Seed,
yeah.
All on one ticket.
Nice. What are
$3 turns it into like $33.
Nice. That's plus 1,000 odds. Wow.
So
just because it 8 picks. I was actually wondering, in the past years, how many of the national seeds have lost their first game?
Not as many. You know who's famous for losing their first game?
Who?
Is Florida.
Really? And they are the highest odds. They're minus 1,100 on the book.
Because Florida's pitching comes out, and this is what we're looking up right here, you guys. DraftKings.
Yeah.
Sponsor of the Cards and Culture podcast before.
I love it. So
this is great radio right now, by the way. Us on our phones. This is.
Well, we're making active parlays. So my first parlay that I'm doing tomorrow is Virginia. So there's 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock games. So I'm parlaying Virginia, Kentucky, and Clemson, and that's going to give me. Hold on, I had actually a couple other things in the ticket.
By the time this podcast is over, I may have been able to log into the app.
You still can't. You got to get go to Wi-Fi. You
can't announce the password.
I'm not. Okay. Just go. I'll share it with you. It'll come up automatically. Just go to you're going to connect to CNC Wireless.
CNC Wireless.
Yep. It'll come up where I share the password with you.
Okay.
Should be coming in.
That wasn't freaky at all. Did you just hack my phone?
Yep. I'm in your phone. I know everything that's happening. Yep. So I got Clemson, Kentucky, and Virginia at plus 127. So that's Clemson, one of the hottest teams in the country, Kentucky, who's a 1 seed, and Virginia, who's one of the best teams in the country, playing Army, West Point, Ball State, and Lipscomb.
How good is Clemson, Tennessee going to be?
I love that.
That sending both those teams there
I'm nervous for Clemson. That sucks for Clemson.
Because Tennessee's won what, 21 in a row?
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah, they're the 08 Tigers basically. Jared and I were talking about that. So 127 gives me, if I bet $100, that makes me 127 for a payout of 227.
All right, so here's mine. I've got Virginia over Army.
Yep.
Clemson over Lipscomb.
Yep.
LSU over Tulane. Arkansas over Santa Clara. Stanford over San Jose State. Florida over Florida A&M. Vanderbilt over Eastern Illinois. Miami over Maine. And Auburn over Pennsylvania, just for shits and giggles.
Yep.
A $3.81 bet turns into $31.21.
Nice. Yeah, so that's got to be plus 1,000 odds, something like that, right?
It's plus 719.
719. Nice. That's solid.
Let's see what LSU currently is right now. Right now, LSU's still holding at minus 550.
The lines haven't changed that much. These came out on Tuesday when or Monday when the announcement show came out, and that's what I was like. I don't think there's that many people betting on college baseball.
Here's the thing that was funny about that, and we think college baseball's so big. I will, to the day I die, I will remember this interview. They had David Purdom on. He's the ESPN gambling writer, and this is when the Alabama thing broke and all that stuff. He goes, and the ESPN guys were asking him, how much money is bet on college baseball and all that kind of stuff. He goes, as of yesterday, the Alabama weekend series had like $30 bet on it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's crazy numbers.
We think it's huge.
Yeah.
No one outside of the Southeast could give a crap about college baseball.
Yeah.
Really. We think it's big. So that's why the numbers don't change that much.
And I've always said this. I was like, I feel like we have a crazy opportunity with since DraftKings has been a sponsor of the podcast before. We're the mecca of college baseball. I was like, eventually people are going to bet on college baseball when it comes, just more universal and things like that in 10 years from now. So I was like, we have an opportunity for sure to kind of like be one of the first ones, betting and talking about college baseball.
And that's my interesting part. What we're going to see. We'll probably get odds. We won't get props for supers.
Yeah.
We'll probably get run odds. They'll probably come back for that.
Yeah.
But what kind of, if at all, props do we get for Omaha?
I bet you we don't get props. I bet you it's probably certain teams to win, certain teams to score runs.
LSU is not the betting favorite. By the way,
no, they're not
this
even
whole
close
thing anymore.
Yeah,
no, they're number
they're
two.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, they're like half of what Wake Forest is, like 400, I think, plus 400.
Wake Forest is plus 400. LSU's up to plus 800.
Yeah, that's what I was like. It's like half the amount. So they're like they're a 2-to-1, more, twice as less odds or whatever to win, which is crazy. Tennessee is still plus 2,000. They're like 7, like in the order of. I just don't understand that. I just don't think they're that good of a team. But I know they have 2 number 1 pitchers. I guess that's like the thing that
Wake is plus. Well, they've got Dolander.
Yeah, well, they have 2 first rounders.
Right, they've got a Renato at the top of the list. Wake at plus 400, LSU plus 800, Florida plus 900, Arkansas plus 1,000, Vandy plus 1,200. It's freaking SEC Invitational.
Last night I did 2 random like fun cash out parlays, like those ones that people do for the champions. So I took a champion. I took Vanderbilt and I took Clemson just because they were like high odds and I think that they're hot right now, So I parlayed it with the Heat to win the championship, the Las Vegas Aces, and the Dodgers, and that wins me $25. Wins me 17 grand. These are just fun ones. And then Miami to win, like Miami Heat, Clemson, Las Vegas Aces, and the Texas Rangers, $5 wins me 21 grand.
Do you remember when you were sitting on this couch and you did a podcast? It was with somebody. It wasn't with me. And you were talking about, it may have been with me when you said the perfect parlay would be like, just for fun, LSU women's basketball is like plus 2,000 to win.
Yep.
Parlay that with LSU baseball.
Yep.
Well, you've won one.
Yep.
So
if you did that,
taking your advice here, some future bets. I got Haley Van Lith at plus 4,000 for women's Wooden Award winner. Angel Reese at plus 350, and then LSU at plus 400. Before they did all the transfer portal stuff.
What? Wait, when? I didn't even see those available on my app. Wow, that's bullish. Yeah, I kind of want to get on that. I like that. Yeah. Did you take the LSU women and the LSU baseball parlay?
I did not do that, unfortunately.
So the kid, one of the kids that works here part-time, Bladen, he said he took it. I wonder what his cash out is now. He said he put like $10 on it or whatever. So that's cool.
You're his boss. You can like tell him, show me your phone.
Yeah.
Well, you hacked my phone, so you're
exactly.
like, hey,
actually, I already know. I could probably just do it. Yeah, just pull it up and I already know. Yeah.
So what do you like? What does that mean? What do you like about LSU? We've been shitting on LSU, and we shouldn't be doing that as much. We're just spitting truths here, or our opinions at least. What do you like about what you're seeing right now?
I kind of like that they have the number 1 and number 2 overall picks in the draft.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think that's strong to quite strong. So I do. Anytime you got an ace out there that's going to, I don't want to say guarantee you a win, but put you in a position to win the ball game, in a series, I can't wait to see what he does in the regional. I'm excited to see him. That's all.
Put your GM hat on here for a second. I'm interested to know. It all depends on what you have. You have the first pick, and signability is not a question. Of course, that's not going to be the deal with Pittsburgh because small market team and stuff. Right. Where do you go? Do you go skiing? Like, let's take the high school out of it. Yeah, sorry, Kylie McDaniel. No. You know, you take the high school. You take. What do you take? Do you take skiing? Or do you take cruise?
I was talking with Mikey and Jared about this on their show the other day too. I don't know. It's hard because the argument, right, is one guy plays every day and he can be an all-star, hopefully, for you. But
skiing's could pitch for you
right now. And to
September.
Me, right. And to me, this is the way that I look at it, right, is there's a lot more guys that are getting paid what Dylan would get paid in the draft for a number 1 overall pick, right? 8 to 10 million, over the next 6 years that are superstars. But there's not as many superstar pitchers, I don't think, that are making that money like Skeens, where the ability that he has right now, he could be a number 3 starter in the big leagues. You pay $15 million a year for that. So for you to be able to get that right now at $8 million, $10 million at the top of the draft, and then control him for the next 6 years and have the potential for him to develop into a number 1 starter, that to me is like, how do you pass that up, right? You might be able to get a number 1 starter for the next 6 years at $10 million. So I don't know. I think I go Skeens, but I'm also partial to a pitcher. I don't know. And I just love Cruz. So like that's where I know the personality, I know the makeup of the kid, I know the family. I never thought I would say I would go away from Dylan Cruz as number 1 overall pick, but I think I would go Skeens if I was a GM.
And let me tell you something. If that happens, and I'm Washington's GM, and I can have my right fielder or even possibly my center fielder for the next, I can have my Mike Trout. My God.
Yeah, I mean, Washington's in the best situation.
Washington's in the absolute
best they're just in the driver's seat. They're like, go ahead, Pittsburgh. You're the ones that can go fuck it up.
We'll have Strasburg 2.0.
Yeah, exactly.
But with less arm injuries.
Right, hopefully.
Knock on wood.
Yep.
Or
we'll take Bryce Harper.
Or we'll take, yeah.
Great. That's literally what they're sitting and doing, is just like, cool, we'll just see whatever falls into our lap. And it takes the pressure off them. They didn't make the decision, right? So like Pittsburgh has the decision. If they go with Cruz and all of a sudden he is an average player, like, because I think that's his floor is an average major league player, then they look bad, right? They didn't develop him, it was their fault, that kind of stuff. And then if Skeens does whatever, then they look bad, but I don't know. It's I don't know. I feel so weird because I love Dylan and his family, and I'm like, the makeup of the kid, I think to me sells it more, where I know the kid and I know he's going to be a superstar. Like,
great.
Know it. There's no way.
But you had Skeens on this couch, and he was talking about being a fighter pilot.
I know.
I mean, that was kind of badass.
Yeah, I know.
What? Obviously, you would think Skeens would have the quickest avenue to get here, and when I get here, I say the major leagues. What does Dylan have left in terms of what do you still need to see from Dylan before you make the move up and do you see him in center field? Because I just don't know yet, because center field in major leagues is different. This is not Enrique Bradfield, center field. I could see he doesn't have the arm to play in right, but he can hit to play in left and center.
Right.
I'm fascinated to see. I would love to have a scout sit down and just be like, this is what Dylan has left to do, and this is what Dylan has left to develop. Obviously, he'll tell you he never has to be perfect or anything like that. But what is your opinion in terms of what he has left to do?
This is crazy, but I don't think he has anything left to do. I'm being dead ass serious. This is going to be a bold statement to say.
Oh God, Skip Bayless, here we go.
I don't think it's that crazy. I think his development-wise, he would have been better in the major leagues for his career, the longevity of his career. He would have been better in the major leagues the last 2 years. Better served. Hey, Dylan, go play in the major leagues. You need to learn at the big leagues because he's that good. He doesn't belong here at LSU. To me,
he was never going to do that though because of COVID.
Oh, I know that. That's what I'm saying. I know that. But I'm saying in my mind, right? That's what, to answer your question, he doesn't need to do anything. What he needs to do is get to the big leagues. He needs to be in the big leagues and make his mistakes in the big leagues. He needs to learn in the big leagues. He doesn't need to learn in AA. Like, that's what LSU has been for him the last couple of years. He's not challenged. If you watch his at-bats, that to me is what sells him to be a major leaguer. The difference of a ball and a strike and his recognition of pitches is what makes him the major leaguer to me. And that's what he needs to do, is get that experience and understand the major league strike zone. That's it. That's it. He needs to know in the major leagues what's a ball and what's a strike, because that's the biggest difference between college baseball and professional baseball.
God, we don't know what a ball and strike
Correct.
is in college baseball right now.
Correct.
The umpires
It's
are
a fucking,
absolutely horrible.
it's a fucking joke. So that to me is when I watch Dylan and I watch him take certain pitches, I'm like, holy shit. Like his next step is just doing that against Clayton Kershaw and against Justin Verlander and being like, cool, now I can recognize pitches against these guys. And I still think I wouldn't be surprised if he wins Rookie of the Year right away, because I think he's that good baseball IQ wise, and he can make adjustments on the fly. And I think he's that dynamic at the next level with the base paths and the rules and the things like that. He could be a 30-30 guy easily every year. And so I see him playing in the center. See him playing in center field because of his arm, and I see him being athletic and roaming center field for 15 years. That's really that's the way that I see his career going. And I think what he needs to do, what he's got left, is pitch recognition in the big leagues. That's it. So I think he needs to get there, and he needs to get reps, and he needs to understand what a big league lifestyle is. And that's it. That's really it. Because
you brought up an interesting point about strike zone and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I love Dylan, and I love Dylan and Tommy for the same reason. When their two-strike approach. How many home runs, how many base hits have been oppo?
Yeah.
Because you just take the ball where it's I love that. Jay has a lot to do with that. Yeah. Jay has, in terms of helping them get there. But
I think Tommy's going to have more of a struggle and I think he has more time in the minor leagues, though, because that two-strike approach that he does is not going to fly in pro ball when he gets the wood bats.
Oh, yeah.
Because he gets more hits on. And he hits the ball oppo, which is good for pro ball, but he's gonna have to learn how to find the barrel more in pro ball, and his approach will be adjusted a little bit because of that. Where I think Dylan, he finds the barrel so well on all pitches, and that's what I think he does. Like why he's that.
Next
more
year
advanced.
Is the transformational year for Tommy White, because you don't have Dylan Cruz ahead of you in the lineup.
Correct.
By the way, talking about lineups here, what's your approach here? I love Dylan Cruz in leadoff.
Me too. I said that from
you remember literally, from the
jump.
You literally get an extra at bat. The higher, it's pure math. The higher you are in the order, the more at bats you get. I love it there. Go Cruz White 1-2, and then after that, pull it together. Whatever.
I think for me, Dylan 1, Trey 2, Tommy 3, and then Travinsky 4, or whoever's then after that. To me, it's less, but I think those three guys got a bat in the top three, and they got a bat in the first inning. Like, to me, I hate when Tommy doesn't get a chance in the first inning if they go 1, 2, 3. I hate that. I don't know. A guy that has a potential to hit a home run at any time up should be in the lineup in the first three batters to me, because when the pitcher is starting the game and he's feeling stuff out and he's leaving the ball up a little bit, Tommy has that ability to go oppo, and 1-0's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Taking that first lead.
It's hot in the box too. This is the other thing. Hoover's different. Look at what the Pac-12 tournament was. The ball was flying out of that Arizona spring training facility.
Yeah.
It wasn't flying out in Omaha because it never flies out for the Big 12. But in Hoover, it's never going to do that. The ball's going to be flying out of the box.
Yeah.
Skeens ain't going to go out there and throw 7 innings of no run or shutout baseball. Whoever you pitch Friday is not going to do that. You're going to have some runs. It's going to be hot, and the ball's going to be flying out of that place. It always does. It's May. It's exciting, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be baseball at the box, postseason at the box. Doesn't get better than that.
When are you going to get Wembyana stuff?
When I can. It's freaking hard, man. It's like he hadn't signed that much stuff yet, too. So we have a few cards here and there, but he doesn't have that many yet. So I'm waiting. I'm trying.
This is going to totally be the place. That's like a stock, Victor Wembanyama. That's like a stock I want to buy low here. And it's going to go through the roof.
But I don't even know if it's low. Like, it's already high. That's where it's like, but it's like, but it's going to go higher.
You're going to have so much cool stuff here. And I can't wait to come spend my paycheck, like literally spend my paycheck here to buy some of that stuff.
I love it.
It's going to be really cool.
I can't wait. I mean, it's great for the industry too, for us, right? I mean, just having that hype and everything is huge. So anytime you get a player like that, generational player, like, the collectibles world goes nuts.
Talk to me about some new stuff. What's happening? What's coming? I see some new art.
We do. We got some new art. The sneakers are not in here anymore, so we made some adjustments there. But we got some developments coming up where there's some spaces opening in Perkins Row that we're exploring, maybe getting a bigger space and utilizing the space more for events and arcades and catering to foot traffic and experiences and things like that. So It's very early stages, but there's some opportunities to try to get in there maybe by football season and things like that. So we'll explore. We'll see what happens. But other than that, status quo. The collectibles industry is still growing. Where new releases are coming out every month, and still have a good clientele base. And yeah, it's been going well. Perkins Row is great too in Baton Rouge. So we're lucky. It's one of the most beautiful spots in Baton Rouge for foot traffic and walking, and great people here usually. So I don't know, man. Status quo. Life is good. What about you?
Hey, let's do this again.
I love it.
Hopefully,
Every
we're
time.
breaking down and talking about a super regional.
Hey, let's go.
So,
but you got to go check out some games. You never go to any games.
I do. It's just
it's hard.
The life of a salesperson.
No, I get it. And you live 3 hours away too. That
Not
doesn't
3 hours.
What is it?
90 miles.
Okay, so it depends on how fast you drive.
Yeah,
Could be
and
an hour and a half.
And we got a new car, so I get to drive really fast.
Nice.
So
there you go. Does it have one of those like you can just sit back and relax and just like drive for you?
No, I
Okay,
wish. But
that'll
it's
be cool.
Baton Rouge traffic. You don't do that.
You definitely don't do that. No.
Yeah.
Well, David, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Get back to selling those memberships and killing it. I appreciate you.
Always.